Hi, I'm Kirsty, one of the personal tutors, and welcome to this short presentation from the Wellbeing College. Boundaries keep us safe and help our self-esteem. The format of this presentation may be a bit different from physically being in a learning space with fellow participants and tutors. However, I hope you will find it useful and interesting all the same. In this presentation, I'm going to be talking about 3 central themes. I'm going to define what personal boundaries are. I'm going to discuss why it is important for us to pay attention to our boundaries for good mental health. And I'm going to talk about how boundaries can help boost our self-esteem. Having healthy boundaries can help create a sense of safety, separateness from others, and knowledge of where our limits lie. They can also help our relationships with others, because by communicating clearly what's okay and not okay for us, we are brought closer to each other. Often, if our boundaries are being tested by others, things do not feel okay. But whatever the situation, a clear guide for us is that if our boundaries are being respected by others, and by us in making them, then there will be a sense that things feel okay. Living with others can create challenges because, of course, boundaries can be so individual to us. What we feel is enormously important may simply not matter at all to those around us. Sharing space means we have to decide what really matters and find a compromise. For example, you might be the sort of person who dislikes mornings and takes some time to wake up and start your day. You might crave a bit of peace and quiet. However, the people you live with are lively morning people and want to spend time chatting with you. If you feel this is a boundary that is a priority, then try to explain your feelings. Let them know you need peace. Another example of finding a balance on a day-to-day basis might be that you like to sit on a particular chair to watch TV. It's comfy. However, someone who lives with you teases you about this, and you find them quite often sitting on your chair when you would like to. In the moment, it might feel easier just to sit elsewhere. You feel tired and you want to avoid an argument. But say it were to keep happening, would you still feel okay if you never got to sit on your favourite comfy chair to watch TV in the evening? Remember, if our boundaries are being respected by others, and by us in making them, then there will be a sense that things feel okay. Another example of where you might feel you and your boundaries are being tested is not feeling included in social things. Others keep making assumptions about what you're interested in and do not invite you to get-togethers. Maybe once in the past you were feeling tired and declined an invite from them to a party. You find it hurtful when you see them getting ready and going out frequently. How will they ever know how you feel unless you tell them? Although it may feel uncomfortable and you worry about their reaction, it may feel worth the risk to communicate your needs clearly to others. Setting and communicating to other people what feels okay for us, as well as not okay, is good for our mental health. Another example of how your boundaries may be tested is when you are asked to be more involved in something than you feel comfortable with. You might volunteer for a local project, for example, a youth club. You really enjoy being able to help local teenagers and spend time in activities such as crafts and cookery. One day you receive a phone call from the leader asking you to accompany the group on an outing to a 10-pin bowling alley in the city. You feel you would like to help out. However, the excursion is on a date you already have plans. The dilemma really gets you to think about what you would like to do, even if it means you have to say no to someone. There are particular times that mean we need to be able to create a personal boundary around something every day. In order to keep healthy, for example, both physically and mentally, we need to be mindful of the food we eat. Making positive food choices is not always easy, especially if we enjoy biscuits. And crisps too. For some people, there are clear signs when they've eaten too much junk food. They might get headaches or feel constantly exhausted because of the amount they are eating. Being aware of how much is too much can be helpful. So bearing in mind how many biscuits you're going to eat every day and sticking to it can help your health. Our self-esteem, in particular, is improved greatly by having healthy personal boundaries. In other words, how we feel about ourselves, the way we look, the way we think, whether or not we feel worthy or valued. If we set boundaries and practice self-care regularly, then we are looking after our mental health and in turn encouraging our self-esteem to grow. There's no denying that social media is here to stay, and for many people, it serves a purpose in our lives. It can help us feel more connected to information about the world around us, and also more connected with other people. There are many benefits to engaging with Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Yet, how we experience and interact with these is very individual. You can make choices around how much social media you consume by setting clear boundaries around your use of it. Debate can become quite heated from time to time, and it can be rather easy to get pulled into this depending on your mood. An example of a clear boundary setting might be to turn off notifications for threads that you are following. That way you are reading comments and posts when it suits you. This might even help with keeping a more objective perspective. It could help to know that there is science behind things like notifications, likes, and comments. Every time we get a like or a comment, our dopamine levels spike, the feel-good hormone, which in turn encourages us to carry on. If you are concerned about how much time you are spending on social media, just try turning your notifications off and taking back some control. Being open to other sources of mood-enhancing activities helps boost our self-esteem and sense of self. This could mean you find reward from writing a letter to your best friend, cooking your partner's favourite meal, or listening to soothing music. The key is to find something you find joy in and embrace your individuality. Finally, If you're wondering about how to start to set personal boundaries, here are some simple tips that might help. Know that you don't always have to say yes or no to a request immediately. You can always say, "Can I get back to you once I've had a think?" Be aware of how doing certain activities make you feel and choose accordingly. Have a flexible attitude towards others and yourself. Know yourself well. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not always an easy thing to do, but in doing so, they keep us safe and help our self-esteem. In the words of research professor and authority on self-compassion, Brené Brown, daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others. Here is a link to a clip of Brené Brown talking about boundaries and compassion, which I hope you'll enjoy. I wonder if there are areas of your life where you might consider setting some boundaries. This might be with family, work colleagues, friends, or even with strangers. I hope you found this presentation interesting, and thank you for listening.